points on 10 of 17 from the field. He hit 5 of the 8 threes he attempted, but we haven't seen him in 6 games.
Listen, for him to come back this first game and just look like he hasn't missed a beat. You know, sometimes you come back and you're a little winded, you're a little rusty. D'Lo got right back out there. He got right to it right away, quick and early in this game. Started off with quick 12.7 assists and never looked back, whether it was diming teammates, making incredible dribble moves off the bounce like you see right here. Like, D'Angelo Russell adds another ball handler and shot maker to this team. And when you envision what this is going to look like with LeBron James back and AD roaming around the paint, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be very scary for everybody in the Western Conference, especially with the fact that these Lakers are playing some of the best defense in the league at this present moment. This team right now is built to make a run. I know it seems weird to look at a team that's in 9th place and say, oh, man, that team might make a championship run. The Lakers are good enough to do that. I'm not saying that they will, but they are good enough if things break the right way or if they get to the 6th seed, they are good enough to come out of the West from that spot.
I'm glad you mentioned not only D'Angelo's scoring, but his facilitating that offense as well. Those 9 assists and the way that he's spacing the floor looks a lot more like the Lakers team that we all thought could contend this season.
I think when you have a point guard, that ability to be able to knock down a 3 also opens up everything. It also opens up how the big will play pick and roll defensively. And now if you step up, he is crafty enough and he can find people who has great vision. If you have some guys knocking down 3s, that'll definitely help D'Lo. He'll get some plays like this where he gets some easy layups and just envision running pick and roll with LeBron James getting downhill. That's the one thing as LeBron James as a screen setter, but then he can knock down 3s. He's played off the basketball a lot in Minnesota with Anthony Edwards right now. And I think also they added some length. D'Angelo has some length at the guard position. Vanderbilt, LeBron, AD, they have some size.
Hashimura as well?
Yes.
Yeah. What a night, though, for D'Angelo and his return. After being sidelined for 6 games, let's hear what he had to say with Lakers reporter Mike Trudell.
All right, D'Lo, it's been a few years since we did one of these. That game certainly looked like fun. You looked like you were having some fun. Just describe all of the emotions that you're playing out there with tonight.
I mean, I just want to bring that element to our team. Obviously, we've been through some things, a few ups, a few trades, a bunch of random stuff that we can use as an excuse. I just want to bring that fun back to this organization, bring that laughing factor, bring all of that, and let it translate onto the floor. So simple as that.
Could you feel the energy coming back from the building as you guys made those pushes, and a lot of the runs cemented by pull-up 3s from you tonight?
For sure. Shout out to everybody on our team, man. Everybody played a major role. Austin Reeves is special. Rui special. Dennis Schroeder special. Like, all these guys are coming in and trying to make up for what Bron, what we're missing with him. So our whole team did a hell of a job of contributing tonight.
So you get traded to this team, and right away you guys go 3-1 in the games that you play. Then you sprain the ankle. It's been a couple weeks. You come back, have this kind of performance as the team continues to rise. D'Angelo, just put that all in perspective as you're trying to look ahead of these next couple weeks and make a push.
They lucky I sprained my ankle. Simple as that. I was ready to go crazy, ready to have fun with this and embrace the challenge and opportunities, all the pressure, whatever y'all want to call. I was ready to embrace that. Unfortunately, I went out with the ankle thing, but like I said, everybody stepped up and everybody held it down. AD been holding it down for us tonight. We tried to hold it down for him, so returning the favor as a team is what it's about.
Last one for you. A lot of new pieces on this team. You guys are trying to figure each other out on the fly, but it's already been working. What does that tell you, and how does that give you some level of confidence?
Man, if we get one training camp under our belt with this group, the sky's the limit. With that being said, we don't have a training camp under our belt. The sky's still the limit. Our guys are ready. Our guys are hungry. And as an organization, these fans are going to get us through a lot of it. Yeah, these fans going to get us through a lot of it with their energy. So we're just ready to compete and ready to return the favor for the organization.
Hey, man, that's one of the best interviews I've ever seen.
That was just...
Sky's the limit.
If we had a training camp under our belt. That said, we do not have a training camp under our belt.
Sky's still the limit.
It is. I love, though, that despite his leading that offense, he continually talked about his teammates. He talked about Rui Hachimura. He talked about Austin Reeves. The first time all season long that the Lakers were perfect from the free throw line as well. I think, though, Brendan, that this showcased not only some of their depth, but perhaps how some of these pieces are starting to work really well together.
Listen, it definitely showcased the depth. When you look at this team, look at the scoring they got off the bench. 16 from Hashimura. Dennis Schroeder, 23 off the bench. And Austin Reeves with 18 off the bench. And he's been in his, Austin Reeves has been in his bag. I can tell Phil Handy's been working with him. That young man has gotten increasingly better. But This Lakers team has so much depth now. They can get scoring from all over. On a night where AD only has 8, they still win this game by 10. If you would have told me that AD would have 8, I would have thought the Lakers would be losing by about 20. But just because of the depth and the way this team is put together right now, other guys are built to step up.
And on a night, Smitty, that they scored 122 points, the perfect split between the starters and the bench players.
I mean, 61 points off the bench, and obviously just 61 for the starters with AD, like we said, having 8. They have a lot of firepower, but what I love is they have some diversity in their lineup. The guys that can guard multiple guys. Hachimura can play from 3, 4, and 5, but then you also have D'Angelo Russell can play off the basketball, and you always worry, you know, who can play with LeBron, and I think D'Angelo Russell is one of those players that can play off the basketball. And then they have some guys knocking down shots, and I love Dennis Schroeder being able to accept his role with D'Angelo Russell coming back. I'm looking forward to seeing how they play with LeBron, but until then, they have some chemistry that's going right now.
What do you think is a realistic expectation? Brendan said potentially contending in the Western Conference come postseason?
Yeah, they can. I mean, if you just start to line them up, they can match it with anybody. I mean, Joker is one of those guys and individuals that you say, wow, he is one of the best in this league. But AD should be able to neutralize him. And I'm not saying he's going to outplay him, but talent for talent, it should be even. And I think, obviously, from that on, I think now their depth right now can match anybody else's depth in the Western Conference Finals.
Like I said, when you look at this Lakers team, depending on where they're at, this is not who I'd want to see in the first round. If I'm Denver and all year long I was one of the best teams in the league, I don't want my reward for being this good to be possibly LeBron James and AD because they won the play-in game. I don't want to see that at all. So I think this Lakers team is good enough to beat any team in the Western Conference in a 7-game series if they're healthy. We know what we're going to get from LeBron. We know what we're going to get from AD when he's healthy. And now that the rest of the pieces fit, we talked about Hachimura and his length and how he can compete at both ends. And you have guys like Malik Beasley and you have Vanderbilt. Austin Reeves coming off the bench playing well. D'Lo, what he was able to do tonight. This team right now is completely scary, and everybody in the Western Conference should be paying attention because, yes, they can score the basketball, but they can defend.
And they still have Lonnie Walker, the fourth, who did not play.
Wow.
A DNP for him.
They actually, I mean, depending on the way that these last couple of weeks shake out, can you imagine being not only the Nuggets or even the Kings, perhaps even the Grizzlies, having to play the Lakers?
It's a nightmare for anybody.
It really is.
Lakers would be favored over the Kings or the Grizzlies if LeBron's healthy.
Yes.
They'd be favored over either one of those teams.
Such stunning regular season performances. It'd be tough to...
Yeah, I mean,
those guys is a first-round matchup.
Even if you beat the Lakers, it's going to be a series, and how much you have left to get a chance to go through the next couple of rounds and to be able to win a championship if you have to go through the Lakers right now.
And that's just the difference between the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. Like in the Eastern Conference, if you're one of the top 2 seeds, you're looking at possibly playing a team like the Raptors, who are up and down, or the Miami Heat, who've struggled to score. If you're in the Western Conference, you could be playing the Golden State Warriors in the first round.
Right.
1-8.
Yeah, you could be playing the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, this isn't who you want to see. Dallas Mavericks, possibly.
The team, we're all in the NBA, but this is your reward for the Sacramento Kings being 2 in the West, if they stay 2 in the West, to play right now the Golden State Warriors or the Los Angeles Lakers. That's a tough matchup.
Well, the way the Lakers are playing, I mean, they're a game and a half out of 5th.
It is, you don't want a 4-5 matchup.
I think the Lakers are going to be above that line. I think when it's all said and done,
I think they'll be 6 for sure.
I think they're going to go take one of the 5 or the 6 seed from somebody.
Do you think that the pieces that have currently been assembled on this roster are enough to contend in this conference? Because we had these conversations right around the trade deadline, but now we've had the opportunity to see the way that it works, not on paper, but on the court.
Well, the biggest thing is they had to add shooting. No, I'm not here to disrespect Russell Westbrook, but that experiment didn't work. And so when you get Russ out and you bring in more shooting, now everything seems to flow with LeBron and AD. And go back and look at those LeBron James teams, whether we're talking Cleveland or Miami. It was always shooters, whether it was guys like Shane Battier, Mario Chalmers, Mike Miller. He had shooters around him, and this Lakers team didn't have that. Now you add these shooters, whether we're talking about D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, these guys that can shoot the basketball, and then you have defenders like Jared Vanderbilt to go along with them, Rui Hachimura, Everything seems to fit. Like Smitty said, they have guys that are multiple, guys that are two-way players. One-way players get erased in playoff series. Guys that can just score, they get erased. Teams take advantage of what they can't do defensively. Guys that just play defense, they don't guard them on the offensive end, and they make your stars play in tight spaces. But guys that can do both, they make your stars play at a higher level, and the Lakers have a lot of those guys.
See, what I think you said something, and we all know they need shooting,
right?
You know, but Jared Vanderbilt is a guy right now, if you start the dynamic scores, I didn't see a guy on the Lakers that would accept that challenge and could also disrupt some of those guys. You're never going to stop a great offensive guy, but I think Jared Vanderbilt would change the dynamic, because if not Jared Vanderbilt, who is the guy who will be able to do that assignment of the KDs, the Devin Bookers, everybody can score? He changes the dynamic because you don't have to double. Even if they're getting 20, 25, or 30, as long as I'm not double teaming, that gives you a chance for your defense.
LeBron, of course, still sidelined, but he is on Twitter, I hear. I haven't been scrolling.
Please tell me he's not
but our
tweeting about Bronny.
Producer. Why do you have to?
Okay, I like this tweet better.
Yes. He loves the team, all right, Brendan?
I'm just checking.
I will say, though, you know, they're going to have to find a way to get some practice in together, B-Wood, because there are always going to be some adversity when you have a run. And this group hasn't been together. And then,
All right, like D'Lo said, ideally,
like,
a training camp.
I mean,
but
if you look at the roster of this game right now, you know, there's about 9 guys played.
yeah.
You have to cut that. You have to cut that down. That's going to be the challenge. For
tighter.
Yeah, LeBron comes in and takes 35 minutes away from some other guys. You have to cut it down.
He's pretty good at this basketball thing.
Not bad.
The assist